everyone, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast, the guiding voice for a better future. This podcast is to help students and young professionals shape their careers. Thank you for tuning in. This is Naveen and I'm with my co-host Sudhakar. Dear listeners, in this DevOps world, deployments are done in real time without interrupting user experience. Agile plays a crucial role in releasing product features to the customers. In the last few years, product development has transformed to a great extent due to wide adoption of Agile or Scrum practices. If you haven't heard about that, you may be living on a different planet, no matter. Alright, don't worry guys. In this episode, we will go through some of the basics of Agile methodology, cover the journey of becoming an Enterprise Agile Coach, and also understand their role in organizational transformation. And we are pleased to welcome Agile Guru Shailaja to our show today.
Hey, thank you for having me, Naveen and Sudhakar.
Shailaja Sharma is currently working with a reputed BFSI organization. She is the Vice President and an Enterprise Agile Coach. Shailaja has over 25 years of rich professional experience in the IT industry. She has worked with reputed organizations like General Electric, CA Technologies, Keane Inc. in various capacities and catering to domains like manufacturing, post-sales service, banking and insurance.
Shailaja has set up the Agile Scrum teams from scratch, achieved continuous improvement and productivity benefits with Kaizens. Kaizen is a Japanese word which stands for small improvements or incremental change.
Coming to the certifications, Shailaja is a certified SAFE program consultant, SPC4, that is Scalable Agile Framework. She is also certified Lean Sigma Black Belt with extensive experience in enterprise coaching and training in the quality world. Shailaja graduated in Computer Science Engineering from Shivaji University. Hi Shailaja, welcome to our podcast series and we are excited to have you as our guest for today.
Hey guys, I'm equally excited to be here and it is indeed a pleasure to participate in this unique initiative, what you have started, of reaching out to the Guiding Voice audience for guidance and to share my experience. Thanks again.
Shailaja, can we get started?
Yeah, without further ado.
Thank you. Let's start with the first one. What does a day in the life of an Agile coach look like? Can you please share some insights on your day-to-day responsibilities?
Yeah, sure, Sudhakar. I'm already playing that role, so I'll describe how my day looks like as an Enterprise Agile Coach. Right? We act as subject matter expert on Agile and Lean. I work as a full-time employee in my current organization. Sort of clarifying this as, coaches most of the time also work as consultants in some organizations. Right? So how do I start coaching? So I work with product organizations who approach us in our organization with their coaching requirements. I initially start with senior leadership to understand and capture their expectations, and then move on to Agile teams, assess their needs, knowledge levels, and their expectations too with respect to coaching requirements, right? So once that is done, then I go back and lay out my plan with measurable outcomes and roles and responsibilities and regular touch points with everyone involved in this journey, right? So now proceed to an agreement with all the parties and then we start coaching engagement, right? So coaching engagement would generally include activities like training on the basics to advanced levels and facilitations of various events, recommendation and usage of right tools, mentoring various people involved, and coaching engagement with Agile team lasts for about say 3 to 6 months depending on what's the knowledge level of the teams, and for a particular product it can kind of go quite long, over a year or two, depending on the size of the product, right, and the size of the team.
Shailaja, this coaching seems to have a lot of responsibilities and a ton of decision making. Do you think someone who does not know coding can also become an Agile coach?
Yeah, interesting question. I would like to answer this question by first stating that what are the skills which are required to be a successful agile coach, right? So first and foremost, being a person with high emotional quotient, having ability to understand, empathize, and connect with people around you, so you can be sensitive to their problems and work with them to solve their problems, right? That is the first important skill that an agile coach should have. Secondly, being very open and adaptive. Your environment is going to be different, so you should be able to flex your styles, change from your plans, and learn from your past failures and experiences, and obviously from successes too. Every team is different, even within the same product organization. So very important to know the environment to effectively coach the teams. Being adaptive is the second one. And then thirdly, having strong facilitation skills for getting people to gradually agree to important points so that one can drive change possibly fast, because the whole agile coaching is about making the changes. So if one is technically sound, or you want to come from a developer background, it might help you being a better facilitator and some of the conversations you can be more effective. But we are expecting generally those skills to be part of the teams, our role as an agile coach is more around ensuring that you are driving people to adopt agile and be in the mindset of continuous change. So not a mandatory skill to have.
I think that's quite encouraging for anyone who is aspiring to become an agile coach. So at the same time, is there any minimal level of experience that is required to become an agile coach?
Yeah, as for any role, for one to be successful, be in delivery or a coaching organization, we need generally 3 skills. So I would say skill, knowledge, and mindset, or a right attitude. It's a combination of these 3 things. So one can embark agile coaching journey in 3 phases with these kind of qualities in them. So the journey starts when somebody starts with an agile team facilitator. So to begin it, with taking up the role of Scrum Master or a Kanban coach or integration manager. At this stage, one should focus on developing skills like facilitation, which is one of the key skills. We already spoke about it. Self-organization, empowerment, and creativity in a team, right? So that's the first stage, I would say, first phase. From there, you can elevate yourself to become an agile coach, wherein the one who operates at the multi-team level, engaging the forces within and outside teams, right? That hinder or teams and teams commitment. And from there, at this level, one must acquire skills like teaching, mentoring, facilitating, and professional coaching. Teaching is required because you might have to scale their knowledge levels on agile practices and stuff like that, right? So lastly, when you move to your third phase, which is an enterprise agile coach who brings the knowledge, credibility, and deep coaching skills needed to coach the top management, which will help transforming the organization, right? So their role is more towards transforming the whole organization and not at the team level, and create more agile leaders in the organization. So enterprise agile coaches must have in-depth experience in agile as well as organization development, right? They should be strong in change management process, and they should be able to impact the culture and mindset change, working at all levels in the organization. So as you see, it is a journey you get onto, and prior experience of development, full software development lifecycle, product management, understanding of design thinking will help one to be successful in the role. But most importantly, one should enjoy working with people and mindset for continuous improvement.
All right, so this seems to be a lot of interaction with people and got to do with somebody's soft skills. So what are some of the challenges that you come across on a day-to-day basis for being an agile coach?
Yeah, interesting one. So all roles, we place come with some of the challenges and love challenges. But I must say, agile coaching and this whole area, it faces more challenges than some of the other roles in the organization. The biggest one is coaching for change. All teams, leaders, and top management, the whole organization is super busy with their day-to-day activities, and there is always a resistance to change, right? It's a very normal human behavior. Now, bringing their attention to why change and what is that better future lies ahead of us is sometimes tough. So making them accept that every change will go through its own 4 stages of forming, storming, norming, and performing, which will bring a temporary slowness but tremendous opportunities and upswing in future. That is the biggest hurdle that coaches have to overcome. And how we do that? By influencing with their experiences and of course being very, very persistent and persuasive. You can't kind of leave things, and implementing process is sometimes easier than changing the culture or the organization and the mindset of people. So I would say that is one of the biggest challenge this role.
Yeah, that's very well summarized, Shailaja. Thank you.
Shailaja, change is the only constant, and like you rightly mentioned, is tough for everyone. To come up with the change mindset, you need lot of persuasion. So are there any practices or certifications that you recommend to become an agile coach and to start at some point?
Yeah. So in an ideal world, the skills that we spoke about, if you have them, you can get started with your agile journey. But at the same time, for one to create visibility and credibility and also get knowledge on the subject, some of the certificates are quite useful. Right. So understand the purpose why you need a certification, and just don't, there are so many out there. So to me, you need certification to begin with, having the knowledge, which will get you started with your first stage of agile journey, right? As we progress in our career journey, one needs advanced knowledge. So to be called, so people look at us as a go-to person, or we are treated as subject matter expert, and then we are able to kind of scale agile at enterprise level. So these are few certifications that will help one in a career progression. So first is Agile Certified Professional. This is by PMI, and then Certified Scrum and Certified Product Owner, which are by Scrum Alliance, Certified Scrum Professional by Scrum Alliance, and SAFE, which is Scalable Agile Framework for Enterprise. Right? So these certificates will surely help you get started, but there is no shortcut to being hands-on, working with team, getting your hand dirty, learning through your experiences, but this knowledge which you'll learn from certification would be handy for you. But then you still will continue to experiment, fail, and learn from there. Right. Additionally, getting deeper on lean concepts, Scrum and Kanban will further aid to for you to perform your job more effectively. One disclaimer, just Google and look for this thing. I'm not kind of promoting any of these organizations, PMI or Scrum Alliance. So feel free to kind of look for right courses available.
Thank you, Shailaja, for exposing us with a couple of certification options. Coming back to the mindset and skill set, what are the things that one should have to become an agile coach and to be successful in it?
So to be a successful agile coach, you should be, first of all, very open, right, and ready to learn from your failures and success and from your experiences. So you have to create your little history log a little bit. You have to be empathetic in your people dealing, because this role requires you to work with different people, new teams, different challenges, and there is various environment in this people are operating. So unless and until we build this empathizing with people skill, it's very tough to navigate through, right? So I would rate that as a good skill to have. Also be a good listener, so that you can, as I said, empathize with them and then be part of their problem and then help them solve those problems. You should have knowledge of subject, right? We already covered some certifications which we said, to have the knowledge, you should know what is agile, what are agile values and principles, multiple manifestation of agile like Scrum, LESS, which is large scale Scrum, SAFE we already spoke about, and Scrum Ban and stuff like those, right? And lastly, skills which are important to build over the due course of time are, you become a good facilitator, you learn to resolve conflict, so be a strong in conflict management, and influence authority, because nobody reports into coaching organization, so you work with the team. So for you to make people change, you have to kind of learn this skill of influencing with authority. You will have to be patient and have that zeal to never give up. This is important as change is very difficult to adopt, so it takes time to see results. So networking will help too in this, as at times we need to take help of right people to influence, right, and not everything is under our control. So if you want to increase your speed of implementation and you want to fasten your outcomes and your results, get in touch with right people, build rapport, and build those right connections. So that will help you succeed.
Those are great inputs, Shailaja. Coming to the listeners, Shailaja mentioned about fail fast. So failing is not bad. Fail faster and quite often, so that we don't surprise the end customers towards the end of the project. That's why Agile has succeeded in the world. Now, Shailaja, how do we evaluate an Agile coach? Can you throw some light on the criteria used for evaluation?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when we are looking for a good Agile coach, what we look for in a person who has, first of all, right knowledge of Agile, right mindset. And we spoke about some of those skills before, but just to reiterate, right mindset, like being empathetic, seeing failure as an opportunity, solving problems and impediments for the team, right? I mean, we use this word often, does not go well with many of them, which is servant leader, right? Being patient and skills like good teaching skills, mentoring skills, facilitation, negotiating, what you need from top management, right? So sometimes you need to go and ask for things which will not be given to you as it is. So you have to negotiate them because they are required for you to drive change.
All right. So I think all the skills that you mentioned will make one a better leader. So being an Agile coach will serve another purpose as well.
Absolutely.
Now, what is the role of an enterprise Agile coach in driving organizational changes or transformation? And why do organizations need Agile coaches in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, good question. But, I already covered that there are 3 stages how we move, right? So we move from Agile facilitator to Agile coach to then enterprise Agile coach. So now coming to an enterprise Agile coach, because that's a specific question, it's a role with multifold and, mind sometimes not well defined. And it goes boundaryless, right? Because people expect everything from, it's kind of a person having a wand in their hand. So nevertheless, there are certain roles and responsibilities for this role. So to work with top management to develop effective Agile transformation strategy to suit their type of business, right? And align with their vision and mission statement. And, Agile should be able to deliver outcomes, what an organization wants to see, right, and which is in the form of results. So that's the first one. And to help organizations actually transform and reap benefits of Agile, like can they reduce time to market for their products? Can they reduce cost of their products? Deliver a better quality of their product and services? So these are some of the responsibilities of an enterprise Agile coach. And when it comes to Agile coaches, they are needed to implement this formulated strategy, right? Because we spoke about everybody is busy. From there, we have to bring in this change, which will not happen without designated people like Agile coaches playing their roles to drive this strategy uniformly across the organization, so that everyone in the organization speaks the common language, which is like, focus on value delivery rather than completing the assigned work, talking about user experience and customer satisfaction rather than delivering project on schedule and meeting time. These are just few examples I'm saying, what the kind of change we are looking when Agile coaches would come and drive the change.
Those are great insights, Shailaja. Would you please share some books or titles which our listeners can leverage in order to learn Agile and Lean concepts?
Yeah, so there are now Google is the world, right? Everything is available on Google, but still instead of reading books, I would rather go with some good authors whose books, if you'll go through, find a lot of consistent information which is available in that. So Mike Cohen is one of the good authors. So Agile Estimation and Planning, and he has also written some other books around user stories, how to write good user stories. So there are some good books around by Mike Cohen, and these are pioneers. Jeff Sutherland and Ken Schauber are considered pioneers of Scrum. So anything around Scrum, if you want to read, then go through these 2 authors' book. Then likewise for Kanban, David Anderson is considered a pioneer in the field of lean and kanban for. Lean and kanban is some terms generally coming from manufacturing. So kanban for knowledge work is something which is more specifically written by David for IT people. So books by David. And for lean, to understand the concept, The Toyota Way by author Jeffrey Liker. And Eric Rice is one who wrote a very nice book sometimes ago, Lean Startup. So my lot of learning on design thinking and the stuff came from Lean Startup.
Thank you, Shailaja, for the details about the authors, and we really thank you for accepting our invitation in your busy schedule. Personally, it was a great, learning opportunity for me to understand the role of an enterprise agile coach, and I'm sure our listeners are going to love every bit of it. Thank you again, Shailaja.
Thank you, Shailaja.
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I enjoyed sharing everything. It was a concise, small talk, but anytime in future, any further conversation, we'll be happy to work with you again.
Yeah, we would love to have that follow-up conversation on deep diving on any of these components. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Shailaja. Dear listeners, all the book titles mentioned by Shailaja would be made available in the comment section of our podcast series. Alright, so to know more about our speakers and the content, visit or follow us on social media or feel free to email us, and we will be happy to share further details with you. This brings us to the trivia segment of this episode. Today's trivia is about iterative and incremental development, which is one of the major features of Agile methodology. The SAGE Air Defense Project from the United States was first credited with iterative and incremental development. It was developed using the stage-wise iterative model way back in 1956, and SAGE stands for Semi-Automatic Ground Environment. So Agile's roots have been in existence from 1950s. The semi-automatic ground environment was a system of large computers and associated network equipment that coordinated data from many radar sites and processed it to produce a single unified image of the airspace over a wide area. Interesting, isn't it? So if you'd like to share any trivias, please feel free to share them through email, theguidingvoice4u@gmail.com, or you can SMS us or WhatsApp us on India number 9494587187. We will not only share the best trivias in future episodes, but we will also announce your names on this show. Again, folks, we are open for suggestions on topics that you would like to hear from us through email. Our email address is theguidingvoice4u@gmail.com. I repeat, the email address is theguidingvoice4u@gmail.com, and you may also WhatsApp us on India number 9494587187. Request you to like our page on Facebook, facebook.com/theguidingvoice4u, and follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/guidingvoice, to stay tuned about future episodes. There is more in store. Until next time, have a wonderful time. Take care and be safe. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much.